Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Hedera and HBAR, so let's just dive in. And let's start off with the elephant in the room, which is the overall price action of the entire market, not just HBAR, the entire market. We will be addressing a few things around it. Just to give you guys a quick insight, I did warn ahead of time around the price targets that I was looking at for HBAR. A lot of it was on Patreon, just giving you guys that full-on disclosure. So it was on Patreon. I gave all my buy targets, the information behind it, and I was really kind of addressing where I will be buying HBAR at in terms of those price targets. All that information could be found down in the description below as well as in the comments below, but I will give you guys a few insights in this video as well. So when we really kind of look at the overall market, altcoins are taking a massive leap of faith today downward. There is a few altcoins that are still up slightly, but for the most part, this is what we have in the market. So we do see 12%, 8% almost, 6%, and it just goes down the list. XRP down 5%, XDC down 3%. HBAR down 4%. On the 7-day span, we do see like almost 8%. HBAR is no different than any of these other tokens. All of these other tokens are also down. I want you guys to all realize this. Like, everyone always focuses on that. For an example, everyone focused on HBAR when the market was pumping and how HBAR wasn't, outperforming most of the other tokens. Well, there was a ton of other tokens during that time that were also not doing the same exact movements. So when we really kind of look at it, I know how easy it could be to just focus on one asset in the space. Trust me, I am I've also done this in the past. I'm like, wow, I can't believe that this token is not performing as well as others. But I want you all to realize that when we have market dumps like this and we have the market cap going down slightly, most altcoins definitely are going to take a major hit. On the 7-day span, you guys do see double-digit plus figures of assets down astronomically. We've been looking at a few of them, and I do think that January, it's probably going to get a little bit more rough for a lot of these altcoins, and I am expecting a lot lower price action, and I do outline all of that on my HBAR buy targets and also targets ahead. With Bitcoin, yeah, we are expecting a full bottom within January. It's the perfect time frame pattern going off of last cycles. If we play into that, yes, anything is possible. We don't need to play into it. But I've been looking at the chart for HBAR for a while, and I've really been trying to tell you guys, like, listen, when we look at the overall demand zone of HBAR, it's all centered back here. Like, this is all of the demand channel on HBAR, and we are dipping down into it. Right now, we are under 4 cents. I have bought a little bit more HBAR at around 4 cents today. And I will be buying, my next target is at the 702 at about 3 cents, like 30, it's like 3.2, right? And even like 3.5 cents doesn't look too bad. I mean, a lot of the price action is going all the way back to 2020. So why wouldn't I be looking at these assets that are astronomically being sold off? I mean, right now, HBAR down to where we currently are right now is 93.45%. Most altcoins definitely do come down like a little bit more. We could very well see a 96% sell-off on HBAR back down to the 786 at about 2 cents. And if we do see 2 cents, 2 cents exact, I'm going to try to get this to the point of almost 2 cents exact, it would be about roughly 96.6. And the reason why I'm looking at that is going off of the February 2020 candle. Could we come back down to test like January 2020, support down here at like under 1 cent? It's hard to say. I would say losing the 786 would be a pretty big warning sign to me. But we don't necessarily even need to come back down to this range. I would say that this area here is a perfect area to look at. The 702 at about like 3 cents, and these demand zones down here at like roughly 3 cents almost exact. So that's what I'm looking at on HBAR. A big sign that we will most likely go down lower here. I know that we are being heavily sold off currently. One thing that I have been noticing on HBAR is the Bitcoin price chart. The Bitcoin price chart has looked terrible, going all the way back to, I would even say, February of 2022. I mean, once we started to lose all EMAs and we started to trade against it in terms of like resistance, this was a big warning sign that we would go much lower. In the summer, I did start to average into HBAR. I shared all my buy targets over on Twitter as well with that. But one thing that I want you all to realize is that we were losing the 618. This on the reverse fib scale. We will most likely come back down to test the 702. The 702. It's very interesting because it's also a candle wick from February of 2021, but it also was a support range from November of 2020 that we've seen, and it's also the same exact support range that we centered on February of 2020. This is on the weekly candle, by the way. So if we go back to the 3-day span, you can see quite a bit of demand at the 702. It's not a significant amount. Most of the significant demand was around like the 618. So losing this was a pretty crucial warning sign that we will go much lower. I'm expecting the 702 to most likely hold. If we don't, it's going to be concerning, but there is still quite some demand. Let me get the horizontal line here. There's still quite a bit of demand around the 184 sat level. And this is like fractions of sats, by the way. But this is the area that I'm looking at to see if we will have a significant bounce or not. But the 702, I'm watching that one pretty closely. And from our current level on the Bitcoin price chart down to that 702, this would be about a 15.34% drop on HBAR. So with that, and that's on the Bitcoin price chart, with that, I'm looking at a few of these ranges here. I mean, like this would be about a 19% almost drop down to like 3.2. If we come back down to test that 2-cent range, this would be about a 42.36% drop from our current price that we are seeing on the chart. And this would be a total 96% drop on HBAR. The good thing about this, and I always say, you got to look for the positives in terms of price action like this. If we do go that low, and we're saying, this is going to be our bottom here, guess what? The levels that we can move to afterwards is much higher. Like, for example, the 1618, which is a common area that a lot of altcoins pump out to, this would be a 198x opportunity run if we do see it. This would be about 19,000, almost a 20,000% run up. At that price, I think that our market cap would be pretty substantial. I think that it will be above 100,000 or $100 billion. Sorry. So I would say like the $3 to $6 range is still in play, and this would be well over a 100x opportunity run. This is why we need to welcome that lower price action. We need to make sure that we are focusing on all the aspects, not just, okay, I'm biased. I think that HBAR is extremely bullish. I think that HBAR is going here. I think that HBAR is going there. I think that we need to come back down to earth and look at the other factors that play a part in this, which is always the Bitcoin price charts. And like I said, XRP or HBAR is not the only token that's getting hurt during this time. Like XRP is also one, and I did warn ahead of time on XRP. Like even if we go over to XRP, I've been focused on a few levels that we could come back down to, and one of the demand ranges so far, XRP has been looking pretty good, but one of the demand ranges would be about like 31, almost 32 cents. And if we do lose that, then yes, very similar to HBAR, we would be testing 2020 demand ranges at about roughly 23 cents. So HBAR coming back down is not too crazy to me. And it's not like a bad thing either. Most of my HBAR, to be completely honest with you, is tied up in NFTs over on Zeus. I do have a wallet that holds quite a bit of HBAR as well to buy any more NFTs I do feel are valuable, or also just kind of have that HBAR sit there in my ledger. So I'm still looking at a lot of the demand. I think that the demand mostly on HBAR is going to be on some of these candle wicks here. I'm going to say like in between it all, like 3 cents looks very common for us to come back down to. And that's the area that I'm looking at personally. And from our current level, like I said, this is about a 24%, almost 25% drop. Total about 95%. That's a common range on altcoins to drop during the bear market. I think that this is going to be very, very beneficial for us going forward in terms of ROI. After this, I do think that the drops in terms of price is minimal. I'm focusing on what's happening behind the scenes with Hedera, We know that almost every single article written about blockchain technology, DLT technology, it's all centered on the things that Hedera really kind of hits the notes on, which is sustainability, eco-friendliness, fast, secure, all that kind of stuff. Like here we have them really focusing on Solana. Just to give you guys a quick insight, these articles and things like that that continue to push Solana. Just to give you guys a quick insight, right? Imagine if you were holding Solana right now. Solana on the 7-day span is down 27.71%. Some of these, major altcoins, and yes, this is kind of tied up with Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX. I just want you guys to understand that this was one of these like tier 1 assets. Everyone was looking at this as being like the next major Ethereum. Just to give you guys a quick insight, here's 2020. It was trading at about like 54 cents. Boom. Pumps massively to like $250. A lot of people made a ton of money, but look at it now. I mean, it is down astronomically. A lot of these tokens, I always say, like, all of these tokens are not safe. It does not matter how good the asset is, no matter how, great people want the asset to be. One thing that I focused on is like, okay, everyone's focused on HBAR dropping a ton. Like here's Solana down 97%. And I do think that this is going to come back down even lower. I mean, a lot of people are looking at like $5 plus. And I'm not saying this because like I'm buying Solana or anything like that. I'm just saying like all of these articles are continuously pumping Solana and pushing Solana. Almost all of these assets that are labeled on this chart are down astronomically. So is HBAR, but I just want you guys to understand that like HBAR is not the only token that is dropping during these times. A lot of people, I see it all the time in my comments. They're like, you're still pushing HBAR. HBAR is down massively. I don't try to have you guys buy into HBAR. I talk about the news every single day on these assets just to give you guys a quick insight on what's happening. To me personally, when we go and look at Hedera is continuously still building. They're continuously still making a ton of noise. And I do think that going forward, I think that HBAR is going to surprise a lot of people. I just think that we need to get through the hell that is the bear market. I mean, bear markets are going to make you question every aspect of your life. Bear markets are here to have everyone come back down to earth and say, okay, like, listen, we need to ground ourselves. We need to understand that, one, this is market cycles. Let's look at the macro. Let's look at things happening around crypto. I said it many times in the past that when we go and look at like even the total two, which is excluding Bitcoin, I shared so many times in the past that we could come back down much lower on this chart. Right now, what I'm looking at is one, I'm seeing where we are currently at on this chart. This was recently. I mean, like, this is going off of the December 5th candle on the weekly. I was expecting a lot of pain in the market going into the January. It's almost a new year. First off, Happy New Year's to everyone. But when we look at this, yeah, I am expecting more pain if we do break and lose this significant support range that we've been holding on to since June. And if we do lose it, then yeah, we're going to come down to some nice lows, and altcoins like HBAR will come back down to these levels that I'm looking at on the chart. And I just want you guys to realize that like these are not guaranteed levels. I'm just saying like this is where I feel most confident investing large amounts of money into HBAR. I have been averaging in. I just averaged at 4 cents. I'm down on that investment already, but I'm looking at averaging in more down here, very similar to like even Casper. And Casper is very similar. I've been looking at Casper many times over the last couple weeks. And again, this is a very similar chart. I'm looking at seeing if we can come back down even lower. This would be about a 98.5% drop in the market. All of these altcoins are getting decimated right now. This is why I say make sure to prepare for anything in this market. I think right now I'm still 60-40 with my investments and stablecoins, so I'm still holding on to a large amount of stablecoins for buying like this. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on if you guys have more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night, wherever you guys are on this beautiful world. It's been Nick. Peace out, guys.